Welcome back to the show. It is Thursday, and we have some absolutely wild AI news today.
Hey everyone! Yes, Thursday is always packed, but today we are looking at some massive hardware shifts and big talent moves.
Dude, seriously, we are talking custom silicon, robotics going public, translation wars, and researchers jumping ship. It is crazy.
It really is. The landscape is shifting so fast, it's hard to keep up. But we've picked the four most interesting stories for you today.
Oh yeah, we did. No boring press releases here, just the stuff that actually matters. So let's skip the fluff and get right into it.
Sounds good. Let's start with the biggest hardware story of the week. What is OpenAI up to now?
Okay, so OpenAI and Broadcom just unveiled Jalapeño. It is a custom chip built specifically for LLM inference, and it is set to run at scale by late 2026.
Wait, jalapeno? Like the pepper? That is a spicy name for silicon. But seriously, why is OpenAI building their own chips? Aren't they NVIDIA's biggest fan?
Well, yeah, but NVIDIA chips are like ridiculously expensive and hard to get. By designing their own with Broadcom, OpenAI wants to control their own destiny, especially for inference.
Right, but custom silicon is notoriously hard to get right. Google has TPUs, Amazon has Trainium, and now OpenAI is entering the ring. Late 2026 is still a long way off.
True, but Broadcom is a powerhouse. They helped Google build those TPUs. So OpenAI isn't starting from scratch. They're basically renting Broadcom's brainpower to bypass NVIDIA.
That is a fair point, but think about the cost. Designing ASICs costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Will this actually lower costs for ChatGPT users, or is this just a margin play?
Oh, it is definitely about margins, but also speed. If they can run GPT-5 or whatever comes next on custom hardware, they can make it way faster. Like, imagine instant voice responses.
I mean, we'll see. If Jalapeño can actually handle the massive load of ChatGPT without melting, it might be a game changer. But late 2026 is basically a lifetime in AI years.
True, but the hype is real. It shows OpenAI wants to be a full-stack tech giant, not just a software company. They want the hardware too.
Which is incredibly ambitious, maybe even a bit risky. But hey, if you want to win the AI race, you have to control the hardware. It makes sense.
Exactly. Speaking of things moving fast, let's talk about where all the top talent is going. Google is having a rough week, dude.
Ah, yes, the great talent migration. I saw on TechCrunch that Google is having a serious brain drain.
Totally. Top AI researchers Jonas Adler and Alexander Pritzel just left Google for Anthropic. It's like a mass exodus, dude.
Wait, again? Didn't they just lose some massive names recently? Like, who is that other guy? John Jumper?
Yes, John Jumper, the AlphaFold genius, and Noam Shazira both left recently too. Now Adler and Pritzel are heading to Anthropic.
This is getting critical for Google. Jonas Adler was leading some of their core generative AI research. Losing people of that caliber to a direct rival like Anthropic is a massive blow.
Totally. Anthropic must be throwing some insane money at these guys. Or maybe they just want to work on Claude instead of Gemini. What do you think is driving this?
I think it's culture. Google is a massive, slow-moving giant now. Researchers want to ship things fast. At Anthropic, they probably feel like they can actually build without all the corporate red tape.
That makes total sense, but Google is Google. They have the compute, the data, the money. How do you walk away from that?
Compute doesn't matter if your projects get bogged down in committee meetings. Plus, Anthropic has Amazon's backing, so they aren't exactly hurting for compute.
True, but Google has been trying to restructure to keep these people. Remember when they brought Noam Shazir back for billions? Clearly that strategy isn't working for everyone.
Exactly. You can't just buy loyalty with billions if the research environment is frustrating. If Google doesn't fix its internal culture, they will keep losing the talent war.
Man, the talent war is just brutal. Google has to be sweating right now. But hey, speaking of rivals beating each other, check out this translation news.
Oh, I read about this on MarkTech Post. This is the startup called Gradium, right?
Yes, they just launched two new real-time speech translation models called STT Translate and S2S Translate. And get this, they are currently beating OpenAI and Google.
Wait, beating GPT Real-Time and Gemini Live? How? Those are backed by billions of dollars of infrastructure.
So basically, instead of the usual three-step process, speech to text, then translation, then text to speech, Gradium collapsed it into just two steps.
Oh, interesting. So they are pairing single-pass transcription and translation with their own text-to-speech engine over a single duplex WebSocket. That would definitely cut down on latency.
Exactly. They're covering 20 language pairs, including English, French, German, Spanish, and Portuguese. And they say the latency and accuracy are way better than OpenAI's.
That is a bold claim, but reducing the cascade from 3 models to 2 is a smart engineering move. It removes the compounding errors you get at each step.
Plus, they offer output voice selection and voice cloning. Like, you can sound like yourself, but speaking fluent Portuguese in real time. How cool is that?
Voice cloning in real-time translation is powerful, but it also raises huge deepfake concerns. If I can clone anyone's voice instantly during a live call, that is a security nightmare.
Leave it to you to bring up the security risks, Morgan. But seriously, you're right. Still, the tech is mind-blowing.
It is impressive, but let's see how it scales when thousands of people start hammering their servers. Startups always struggle with scale compared to Google.
True, but if they can license this to enterprise clients, they won't need to scale to the public right away. Imagine this in international business meetings.
Now, that is a solid business use case. If they target enterprise, the security concerns can be managed and the accuracy is actually critical there.
Exactly. It's a huge market. Speaking of massive enterprise moves, let's talk about some giant robots.
Oh, right, the humanoid robotics startup. TechCrunch reported they are planning to go public via a SPAC in a $2.5 billion deal.
Yes, that is so wild, dude. They expect to generate $620 million in proceeds from this deal. That is a ton of cash to build more robots.
For sure. Agility makes Digit, which is that bipedal robot we've seen working in warehouses. Amazon has actually been testing Digit in their fulfillment centers.
Dude, Digit is so cool. It looks like a sci-fi robot walking around carrying boxes. With 600 million, they can probably mass produce them like crazy.
They need to. Humanoid robotics is getting incredibly crowded. You've got Tesla's Optimus, Figure, Boston Dynamics. Agility needs this cash to maintain their early mover advantage.
But is a SPAC really the best way? Aren't SPACs super risky? Like, a lot of companies that went public that way ended up crashing hard.
Absolutely. SPACs often come with a lot of hype and less scrutiny than a traditional IPO. If Agility can't deliver on their production targets, investors are going to get burned.
True, but if they pull it off, we might actually see robots working in every warehouse in America within a few years. It's wild to think about.
It is, but hardware is hard. Scaling physical robot manufacturing is 10 times harder than scaling software. I'm skeptical, but I'll be watching closely.
I mean, Amazon is already backing them, so they have a guaranteed customer. That has to count for something, right?
It helps, but Amazon is notorious for testing things and then dumping them if they don't meet strict efficiency metrics. Agility still has to execute flawlessly.
Fair enough, but I am still rooting for Digit. It's just too cool not to succeed. Imagine having one of those fold your laundry.
Let's get them working in warehouses first, before we dream of home chore robots. But yes, it is an exciting milestone for the industry.
Well, whether it's custom chips, fleeing researchers, instant translation, or warehouse robots, the pace is just not slowing down.
No, it certainly isn't. It's a fascinating time, but as always, we have to look past the hype to see what actually works.
Classic Morgan, always the voice of reason. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow with more AI news.
Make sure to subscribe so you do not miss our next episode. See you all tomorrow.